Hey everyone, this video we are going to look at how our microservices communicate with each other, how two microservices are talking to each other. This topic is very critical from the perspective of microservices architecture and very important to understand. So first of all, consider the monolithic situations that we had before microservices architecture. So this is the online shopping portal and these are the different modules, not the different services, but they are part of the same application, but they are different modules. Product module, order module, login module, payment module and mailing module. They are making a complete online shopping portal. So let's analyze how they are communicating to each other. So this is the product module. When any call is coming to this product module and it is asking to list the product, all the product that it had. So the code that is written inside this will be something like this. So before returning the list of the product, it is going to validate the user that is asking for the product. And to validate the user, there is different module for the validation, which is the login module. So how it is going to call? So there are different from module, I mean there are some classes where these methods are written. So I can directly call the validate user of this login module from this product module by the normal method, and then it is checking for the products and then it is notifying the merchant. Notifying the merchant means it is another method that is written. If the product is not in the stock, then it can notify the merchant that this product not in the list, you should consider it adding into the product, and then return the response to the user. So this is how product module is communicating to login module directly through the method call. In the same way, when we have order module, we have called to the place order method which another module has called. It is calling the validate user directly. It is calling the validate user method from the login module, and then it is calling the availability of the product from the product module, and then it is making the payment by calling the this payment module. And this is all of this is happening direct method call among the module. So see the ease of coordination, ease of communication that we are having in the monolithic application, because everything is in one application and we do not have to go anywhere, and all of these modules are written in a single language. So it's easy to understand the request and response that product that different module are passing with each other. But when we have converted all this monolithic architecture into microservices architecture, now product module is the product service, this is the order service, login service. Each module has been deployed, they are running in itself as an application. Now we do not have liberty to call directly this product service to order service method. Even product service is not aware about this, that there exists this place order method or not. There are many challenges coming when each service is talking to each other in microservices architecture. Earlier different module was written in the same language. Now we have different services, and there are 100% chances that login service is written in some other language and order service is in some different language. So how they are going to connect to each other, how they are going to understand the request and response that they are passing between each other. So let's analyze the challenges that we have. So first and foremost challenge is how to connect. This is the first service and this is the second service. This is written in Java and this is written in Kotlin. Imagine, and how they are going to connect, how we are going to connect these two services, because they are independently running on the internet, and now we can pass the request and get the response. So how we are going to connect these services? So there are these three prominent methods that we can connect. First one is the HTTP, which stands for as Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Then we have RPC, Remote Procedure Call, and then third one we have messaging way to connect two services. Now we know there are these many methods that we can use to connect. How to connect and what are the different rules and set of steps that we have to do, what are the internal architecture, HTTP, RPC and messaging, we are going to analyze that in separate video. Next, coming to the second challenge, now we have established the connection between two services. Now the challenge, now when the connection is established, now S1 is going to ask for something from S2. So it is going to request something. S2 have to understand that what S1 is requesting, When it has understood what it is S1 is requesting, it will process that request and it will subsequently respond that one. And now S1 has to understand what what S2 has responded with and proceed further accordingly. So how to process the request and response? XML and JSON, these two are the data exchange format that helps us in processing the request and response between two services. So when we have XML and JSON, so it doesn't matter whether they are written in Java or they are written in some other language. It matters what format it is giving. S1 has to know that what type of data exchange format that S2 is processing, and S2 also has to understand what kind of data exchange format S1 is using. So if they understood that, they can take the request and respond that in that data exchange format, XML or JSON, and they can understand that properly, and now they can process the request and response. Nowadays, JSON is more prominently used in microservices architecture, and XML was also popular. Still, it is popular, but JSON is taking place of that when it is because it is very simple to use and very easy to use. I have covered in detail about JSON. This is the link that you can go ahead and check out this one. Now coming to the next challenge, network latency. Earlier we had monolithic application, everything was in single application, so there was no problem of latency because it was quickly direct method call, and there was negligible time in calling the method, so that was not the problem. Now each service is individually running on the internet, and we have to call that, we have to pass a request and get the response. So our request is traveling over the internet, and uh, there are chances of the network latency, and it depends how fast network connection that we have. So this latency is coming into picture. So based on the compromise that we have, so we have two ways of communication that we can use: synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous means if here is S1, S2, S3, right? Synchronous comes into picture when S1 has called S2 and S1 is waiting for the response from S2. When S2 has responded, only then S1 can execute next line of codes. So it is waiting for the response from the S2. So it is synchronous now. Asynchronous comes into picture when S2 has just passed the message to S3, means S2 doesn't need the response of S3 to proceed further, and it just wants to communicate to S3 that it is doing something. In that cases, we have asynchronous communication that we can take advantage. So synchronous, we have to wait for the response whatever service we are communicating, and if asynchronous communication, we do not have to wait for the response from the third service that we are calling. Both of these we are going to understand in detail in the further videos. So this is end of this video. I hope you got the understanding how to communicate and what are the challenges when we have microservices architecture in communicating different services. These are the different topics that we need further understanding, which we are going to cover in next videos in detail. So next video we are going to see about synchronous versus asynchronous. This is going to be the small video where we are going to understand integracies. What are these all about? Want to see all other topics under microservices architecture? So this is the link that you should check out. If you like the content, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon so that you get notification about every upload on the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.